Ohzhe, and this is me. People always, like, for some reason, people still say the name wrong, and they still spell the name wrong, although it's spelled, and like it's my name on Instagram, they still spell it back. They put Ohzee. I'm like, bro, it's Ohzhe.
I find that funny, having a unique name as well, that people have a very hard time understanding.
Yeah.
How to spell it. I like unique names. I feel like my name is Canaan, so Canaan. It's a biblical name. It's funny because like some of the most religious people, or claim to be the most religious people I talk to, just don't even know. It's like, what is that? It's like, it's in the First Testament.
Like Cain and Abel?
Yeah. No, it's the Canaanites. Canaanites were like a group of people that, and I'm not really completely sure of the history of the origin, because this religious stuff goes deep. But they had Jerusalem before it was Jerusalem, so it was like the country was Canaan, and the people that defended it were the Canaanites, and so my name comes derived from that, Canaan. I was born in a town called New Canaan.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah, so
that's dope.
So, and I used to be surprised what people say, and I understand it might be a little hard to pronounce, Canaan, but when you tell people to spell it, it's like you told them like Peter Piper picked the pebble, and they're just like Canana, and it's like, whoa, it's like you never listened as a kid, like Canaan, and they're just like, oh my god.
You know what fucking pisses me off is like what pissed me off before, like when my name was like my actual name, Ozymandias.
Yeah. I
would get on stage and motherfuckers would botch my name.
Oh yeah.
Ozymandias. I'm just like head shame. Like, come on, bro.
Ozymandias.
Just Ozymandias.
Sounds like the Black Panther character or something like that.
It's my name is actually I think it's African. Oh no, it's Greek. King Ramses.
I thought that, but I wanted you to say it, because it's like I'm very good at history, so it's like I looked at it and I'm just like, a lot of people might go African. It's like, oh, it's some African dialect, and I'm like, it looks Greek to me.
It's definitely Greek.
I was like, and the Greeks have a very fascinating history, and the way you pronounce names and stuff like that, like Giannis Antetokounmpo, like the basketball player. It's like, I just loved how people botched his name for so long. It's really phonetical. Like, if you hear it said, like, I don't think you can get it wrong, but if you try to read it,
I was calling him Giannis the whole time.
Yep. That's what people do. It's like the G is a Y, and like you hear the same thing in like other dialects, like Spanish people. It's what is it? They do the Y and the J, like Jogurt or Jankies.
Like Yef.
Yeah, exactly. My name is Yef. The New York Yankees. It's interesting. So it's like a lot of people botch my name. They botch my father's name, Joaquin.
Oh man.
Terrible. Like, we always grew up just like in a doctor's office, someone calling the wrong name, and it's like, yeah, that's us. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like if they stutter, it's like and they look like that. It's like, it's me.
I'm having a hard time say this name. Yep, that's me.
Yeah, that's me. I'm just gonna. we're just gonna go. So, I understand your struggle there, and it's like sometimes it's like, do I change it? I'm like, nah. I like how you did it, Ohzhe. From what was how you say it?
Ozymandias. So
Ozymandias.
People been calling me like when I was in like kindergarten, like the teacher.
Keep this pretty close, about a fist away, because I don't have a producer.
When I was in like kindergarten, or first grade, whatever. The teacher was having a hard time saying my name, so I was like, just call me Ohzhe. Just say Ohzhe. That's it. You don't have to say anything else. The name's too long. You say Ohzhe. And then from there, all of my friends throughout everyone been calling me Ohzhe.
Yeah, I try to, in the last couple of years, like, people who are just like, how do you say it? Because they look at it, and I'm just like, it's like K-N-I-N, Canaan. Like, it's very, very simple. People are like, can I call you K9? Can I?
K9?
Like, it's like, it's Canaan. Like, it's not hard. Like, someone called one of my friends, Keith, from way back in the day. Shout out to him. He's doing his thing out in another state. But he called me Kojak for so long.
But it's fire nicknames, though.
Some of them are fire. I never really adopted a nickname.
Right.
I kind of wish I did, but I always just went by Kanan. I was just like, I feel like that's just the easiest thing.
Because that's who you are.
Exactly. I don't feel like I need to change it or anything. All my friends got fucking cool ass Sap 40. I'm just like, I was like, you guys got code names and shit.
Right.
I ain't got dick. So, but I'm glad for you to come on.
I appreciate you.
I know we've been trying to set this up for a minute. You're a busy man. I see what you do out here, and I think you're a father. You're an artist. I think you're an inspiration for younger talent. You know, giving back.
Absolutely.
So I kind of want you to like talk about like when you have an album in the works right now.
Yeah, I do.
You dropped that track yesterday, or you dropped a little feature.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand that, and I feel like that feature is going to be hard to place exactly right because that song is fire.
Thank you, bro.
I thought that. I was like,
appreciate that.
I was like, that's a heater. I was like, he dropped a heater in the middle of the night too. I was like, he didn't even think about it. He was like, I got to put this out.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, you know what?
I was like, he put it out. I like looked at the time. I'm like, why the fuck did he put it out right now? I was like, ain't no one seeing this shit.
My friends yell at me about that. It's like, you're picking the wrong times to post your music. That's why you don't get you don't get people liking your stuff. I'm like,
I understand it through the artist perspective of just like I feel it. I gotta, I gotta get a feel of the market, or at least I say the market, but like I got a feel of my audience of what they feel this song, and it's like I thought that shit was fire. I don't know how you think. I thought that shit was fire. I might have to put some one part in this podcast where it's that song because that shit's fire. But I wanted when did you start in music? Because it seems like you've been in the game for a minute now.
I'll just say I started when I was like 13. I started when I was 13. I was recording music with my friends Trell and David, and you know how you was talking about picking yourself up by the bootstraps. We was recording on a microphone attached to a heater with a sock over it, and we were using I can't remember what program we were using, but it was like when I heard my voice, I was like, wow, that's me.
Yeah.
And then just like I was always consistent with going to that studio, no matter the times. I was leaving school early just to go to the studio. Mind you, these people were older than me. Like they were like 18, 20, and I was like 13 years old, hanging around these kids, these men, or whatever, and they was just putting me on and shit. And you know, I've just been consistent with that. And then throughout the years, I was just meeting different people along the way. Like I would be rapping in school tables and like, connecting with different artists and stuff. And then I met this guy named Ohzhe who helped me get my first actual performance at this thing called UGT. And I performed this song called Medusa, which was about my ex-girlfriend. And it went really well. It was like a poetry slam type thing, but they allowed hip hop every now and then, and they, he gave me that opportunity. And also, what's funny about that story is that I met this guy named Swain. Swain was trying to bring me to this show and meet Ohzhe, but Ohzhe was my substitute teacher in school, and he see me like I remember going into class, and he's like, "Yo, you're a football player, aren't you?" I was like, "No, I'm not." He's like, "Then why are you late?" I was like, I don't know. I just taking my time. And he's like, "Oh, well, sit down, da 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 da." And he's like talking or whatever, and I'm just writing. I'm just writing my music. I have my, sneaking my headphones.
Yep.
It's like this.
These are for the kids who don't understand because you got fucking AirPods now.
You can sneak it.
Fucking son. We had to fucking lace the wire through our shirts to go like this,
bro,
on a shitty connect. Oh man, that shit was.
Jesus.
Kids don't understand. If you have long hair now and you could just you could rock
like
out all day
the
whole time.
Nobody fucking know Bluetooth.
Yeah, exactly.
It's special.
Oh,
so
man.
like he was watching me write, and he was reading what I was writing down, and he was like, "Yo, rap that out loud." And I'm like, "No." No, I will not. And then he just all right, then say it to me then. And I was just like rapping it to him really humbly, and he was like, "Yo, at this time, come here and bring this and do this."
That's so dope.
So
I appreciate teachers so much more that I'm older because I understand what they did for me that they didn't have to. It wasn't included in their paycheck. Yeah. They're not getting a bonus. They don't write this down and get an award or some fucking shit. They do it out of the kindness of their hearts because they want to motivate and give kids opportunity. And I appreciate that so much with teachers that actually take the time to do that. Like some teachers will just be like, "Oh, he's writing a rap, okay," like you know what I mean, and roll their eyes or like tell you to close their book. And like
this is not hip hop class, Ohzhe.
Yeah,
come on, bro. Let me do my thing, man. You doing your thing. Let me do my thing.
Yeah, exactly. How old are you now?
I'm 26.
So you've been you've been doing music for 13 years.
Yes. Wow,
that's crazy.
Been that long. Wow.
That's
I never
crazy.
put the number on it. I've always been like, yeah, I've been doing music for a while.
13
13 years sounds crazy. Wow. Yeah.
It does sound crazy, but I think, like we were talking about before, I feel like a lot of kids come in and want to be a rapper, and they just expect that they're gonna be good.
Bro,
You have to suck for at least 5 years.
And
when I say suck, I don't mean any disrespect to your flow, your beat selection, your lyrics. Everything builds style. Everything builds over time. You're gonna take your favorite rapper and you're gonna try and mirror yourself after him. And then you got to find your own voice slowly through it all. You got to find your producer. You got to find your flow, your melody and stuff like that. And this doesn't come over a year. 365 days, I hate to break it to a lot of people, isn't long.
It's not.
It goes by so fast now.
This year flew.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm going to be on by the end of this year. Not on. I'm
like, yeah, I'm gonna be touring. Watch, 2019, I'm gonna be touring all around. Yeah. Watch, bro. Nah, still here.
Yeah. Hey, the process takes a little bit longer than people like to admit. Like, there are some
consistent, bro.
There are some people that can just get in the studio and they got a hit, but it's like, I don't necessarily know if that's the best way to start a music career, because then you've only done it around the pros. The people who can produce the best, make the beats the best. You have the best equipment around. You have a manager around. Like, I feel like it might take away a little bit from doing it your way, right?
Yeah.
Like, to grind in
it.
It's
about staying consistent with the people that are connected with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about reaching out to I don't get why motherfuckers is going out to other people, to like famous people, for collabs when they don't even have a following to bring to that person.
Right.
That person is only collecting a check from you, bro.
Or a skill set.
Yeah.
Right?
You're
like,
only clout chasing at that point.
You go to try and like do a collab because you think you're some, and like this is where a lot of like teaching through the new age has brought me. Like, when I listen to Gary Vee about just like, what value are you bringing them?
Exactly.
You're going up to somebody who's famous, right? That might entail they have a lot of money. They have the right connections and stuff. So if they have what are you bringing to the table as well besides your feature?
And money. That's the only thing.
You have to bring something different. You know what I mean? Whether it may be an experience, whether it may be a first chance to a product, or maybe you do something for them. Like,
right.
I don't think a lot of people nowadays, I do think more people know now, but I think like when we were growing up, a lot of people were very entwined in their ego. Like, if they had 1,000 on MySpace or Facebook, like, a lot of people, is like, you can't talk to them.
Look, bro, you can't say nothing to me, bro. You see how many people got following me?
Yeah.
Fuck out of here, son.
Exactly. And I never understood that mentality. Now, this is coming from a guy who has, I think, 300 followers on Instagram, but like, I just don't.
Shout out to the 300. Shout out to you.
Shout out to all of you.
Yeah.
But I think it's like, I don't understand it. It's like, these are people who follow you and you've created a following, and that's good, but it's like, I don't feel like that should be thrown in people's faces, nor do I think it should be held above people.
Right.
And I feel like it's kind of weird. I feel like a lot of people
clout, bro.
And I really don't understand clout either. It's like, how do you build more clout, right? Do you just you try to go up the chain? I don't think life works like that. I don't think it's like, I collabed with this person, I can't go lower than them.
Right.
I can't do something.
So what do you do after you do that collab?
Right. And it's like, and not necessarily the talent doesn't always go up, right? It's like, oh, I did a collab with this person, now I got to go up here and up here. Like, there are some people around here especially that are so fucking dope. Like, I don't know if you've heard of Vex. V3X.
Yo, she's fire.
Yo, like,
she is fucking elite.
Like, I don't understand. Like, I think she's gonna sell fucking records.
Yeah, she's gonna blow.
Like, I don't like the music she puts out on just a whim. Like, you know what I mean, on these funny ass videos or whatever. It's
that's how she's going to win, is because she's authentic.
She's organic.
Everything she does is, I can tell it's just naturally who she is.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's not forced. Most of these rappers nowadays are just being as a copy of a copy of a copy.
So getting back to you, how did you find your voice? Like, obviously, you've not 13 years in the game, right?
Yeah.
You started out like in high school. Who did you listen to, and who influenced you through your music?
I was listening to a lot of Drake, Wayne. You know,
Drake was big back then.
Big Sean, yeah.
Drake's still big. But
yeah. At that time, those were the most prevalent. And then it was this artist was one of my closest friends. I would call him, it's Ty. He goes by Die for Ty. He was like my mentor. He was shadowing me, or I was shadowing him, and he was teaching me a few tricks of the trade. You know, how to use my words, how to like, you know, develop. He was just in the artist development stage when I was coming up, and he was just putting me onto a lot of different things, a lot of different sounds, and you know, and I appreciate him for that. So shout out to Die for Ty, gang gang. Yeah, so it's just like repetition, mostly just like being consistent with myself and exploring different things and different sounds, and listening to different music helps too.
It's funny you say Wayne, Drake, and Big Sean, because like I would have expected you to say Nas.
Well, see, all right, in high school, yeah, like of course I had like those old school hip hop. Like I was listening to Hove, I was listening to Nas, I was listening to DMX, 50 Cent. All of those people, they are my influences.
Right.
But at that time,
That's
I was
who
only
you were listening to.
I was only listening to the hits, and like Wayne, they were on fire. Young Money was on fire, bro. Like
Wayne Carter 3 is a masterpiece in my opinion, and then
I agree.
And I just think that year of 2008, he was so on fire. Anything he touched was just lit on fire. And it's like, it's kind of weird to me, because it's like we look at it now and I kind of listen to it and it's still good. It still holds to this day. But if you listen to Wayne's old stuff, it's like the bars were not where I expect bars to be now. It's like he wasn't really rhyming anything. The message was just like,
niggas, is that something lasagna? Bitch, real G's
will
be silent like lasagna.
Yeah. So it was always kind of just like witty rhyming. Yeah. I mean, but like some of it was like some of it was just fire because of the beat, but it's just like I felt like Wayne, that was his period he was on. Like I would listen to Wayne now and it's like I feel like it's a little bit lackluster. Yeah. Like I feel like he's lost that sheen to him.
I mean,
but I feel like he didn't. I don't know how to structure it, right? Because I was like, grow with the times is not the correct thing. Because my question to you is, how did you keep this lyricism going? Like, this is not like a lyricist market right now. Right. Or like, this is not where a bunch of people come out and lay out bars. I can't name you a person who's come out besides the big guys to lay out some heavy bars on a track and like people take to it. It's like, how did you stay true to your style when you have what they quote unquote call it now the trap music? I don't like calling it mumble rap because I feel like that's something
I've always like just studying the artists who do it, like Kendrick, Cole, you know, Kanye. They all do it. Like they keep up with the times, but they still have something to say.
Right.
And it's like I don't push myself all the way to the far right and be like, all right, I'm gonna do a whole trap song and talk about shooting and drugs and fucking bitches, and I won't go all the way conscious. I meet myself right in the middle where I bring the experiences that I've had where I've been in those situations on the trap side,
right,
and or the being around my friends who are in that field, and I put my own perspective and my intuition and my wisdom into it, and I combine them both. So that's just, and then, you know, isolating myself, being away from people and reading and just like studying a lot of things, different things, help with building with the lyricism.
So it's like, how did you have the confidence to stay with it? Because like I feel like a lot of people
don't give a fuck.
There you go.
Care. Like I care what people think, but I don't give a fuck because I'm gonna do it, and it's just something that comes out naturally.
This is you. Yeah. And I feel like that's really authentic, because I feel like a lot of people have switched up to the more, you know, the hype, and it's like, I swear I've kind of lost a lot of interest in hip hop right now. I don't listen to it. I don't listen to a lot of it. It's just I feel like a lot of it is
gotta
like,
find the right ones, man. Freddie
Gibbs is good. Still a Pro Era fan, even though they haven't really done it for me lately.
Yeah.
I'm a Cole fan, even though I feel like
Benny the Butcher.
I do fuck with Benny the Butcher.
Yeah.
I fuck with
What you coming, nigga?
Who's that? I can't even remember the guy. Joyner Lucas.
Joyner's fire.
Yeah. I fuck with a lot of these people, but at the same time, a lot of the music is like, I don't know, the composition of albums I feel like have been just not there for me since what was it? God, Money, War. The King Los.
I never sat down with King Los before. Okay. I seen him do like 5 Fingers of Death though. It's fire.
God, Money, War is a beautiful album. I suggest you go listen to it. But I'll even put it into like Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah.
Like, as far as an album composition goes, like
Yeah.
track 1, track 2, the interludes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
None of these albums do it for me. Nothing
Right.
nothing follows up the way I want it to. Nothing connects these little nuances
Yeah.
of each song, of like kind of like putting you in a time and place. Like when you listen to Good Kid, Mad City, you can kind of feel yourself in Compton.
Yeah.
Like, even though you might not know Compton, you've never been there, but just the way
Yeah.
the mannerisms of the South Side hood niggas, like, or East Coast, West Coast hood niggas, is like so specific.
Mm-hmm.
Like the mannerisms they use, the way they talk, the way their beats are composed. It's like it gives you a vibe. The album cover, like what van they were riding around in, it kind of puts you in that mindset.
Yeah.
And I just don't feel like albums nowadays are like that. They just put out music to put out music.
Because no one's
telling a story.
No one's telling a story, and no one wants to conceptualize their ideas. No one wants to sit down with their ideas and put them together and mold them into something.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm trying to do with this album. I'm
Okay.
really trying to put like my man's was just telling me, it's like, yo, bro, maybe we should just like put it out now and blah, da, da, da. And I'm just like, it sounds like a good idea to do, but I
Right.
really want to put my energy into this project and
Yeah.
like explore how to actually conceptualize an album. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
I think it's a
So-
lot more difficult than just throwing 10 tracks on a thing. I think each track placement is crucial. I think album artwork is crucial. I think the story you tell behind your album is crucial.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like people just put 10 songs and put it out.
Right.
And I'm just like, that shouldn't be how an album is made. I think you should take great pride in it, even if you have tracks that you can't put out, like, because it doesn't fit. Like, I feel like that's important. Like, I listen to some albums, and all of a sudden, track 8's a trap song, and it's like 7 other tracks weren't, and you didn't sufficiently lead me into this.
Yeah.
You didn't put an interlude into this to hype me up into this song.
You didn't
know
tell
what
a
I mean?
story leading up into this and make me feel like, all right,
I'm getting hyped
yeah.
now. You know
that's
what I
why
mean?
people need to really focus on like well, is it scoring or like, I don't know, like the
I think I know
like,
what you're saying.
yeah.
Scoring, as far as like telling the story, how it should,
sonically, like telling the story sonically,
the
like,
ebbs and flows. And
exactly.
Stuff like,
You know what I'm saying?
and that's difficult. And like my thing with Drake's last album, it was his last album.
Scorpion?
I'm too many fucking songs, man.
Yeah.
Like, I understand maybe business wise why he did it. Give him his last 2 albums out of his deal. Like, now he can do his own thing, kind of thing. And I understand that he's making tens of millions of dollars. So for financial reasons, I understand why he would do something like that.
Yeah.
I just didn't think it ebbed and flowed right.
Right.
I felt like it took too long. It's like, I'm not sitting here for an hour plus listening to music. I can't. Like, I just don't have the
greatest hits type deal.
Right. And I think what Kanye's done is kind of interesting when he's produced these albums lately of just being 6 to 8 songs or something like that. I think that's pretty dope.
Yeah, little EPs.
Little EPs, but at the same time, I was like, now I feel like I think it's a little bit lazy. Like, I understand the artist perspective. I understand it's a consumable form of content, with it being like only almost 30 minutes, right?
Right.
I feel like that's a consumable piece of content. You could listen to that album and re-listen to it.
But where's the effort? Like,
Not even effort.
No.
Building. Like, what track 1, track 2, the outros and intros. Like, I feel like it's just not there for me to tell the story, and I feel like storytelling in all mediums is very important.
You know what I feel though? I feel it's like you have to understand the psyche of the listeners now though. Like now everybody's attention spans are like fucking shot.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because there's so much going on. Like people can't sit through a 2-minute song or a 3-minute song anymore.
Right.
Before we was listening to like 7-minute tracks. You
The
know what I'm saying?
remixes were always
You know what
7
I'm
minutes.
saying?
DJ
Remix.
Khaled had everyone and their mother on that.
Every fucking body, bro. But now, like, people's attention spans are like, well, this isn't making me feel anything right now. I'm gonna go back to Facebook, or I'm gonna go to YouTube and listen to Cardi B and listen to her talk about sucking some dick.
Yeah, I can understand that. I understand that. But the thing is like, when you compose something like that, like, I'll go back to Good Kid, Mad City. Was it Good Kid, Mad City, or was it To Pimp a Butterfly?
To Pimp a Butterfly was effortless, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that shit was beautiful.
Where was MLK, Martin Luther King freestyle on?
Martin Luther King freestyle.
Martin had a dream
Oh, that
All
was
my
back.
life,
That was
I
Backseat
want money.
Freestyle.
Backseat
That was
Freestyle,
Good
yeah.
Kid, Mad City.
Good Kid, Matt. So on
Yeah.
that, it's like, I feel like the music video, and this is where the visuals come in. Like, this is a whole representation of art, where it was
Yeah.
like, it kind of, that could hype you up,
Yep.
and it still had the storytelling of the album associated in with it. So
Mhm.
it gave me more of a, when I go back and it's like, sometimes, like, those are bars, but I could kind of skip that in the album. But
Mhm.
when I'm watching the music video, I can understand it more of just like, it's more than an ass shaking video, even though they had a bad bitch shaking his ass next to a nice ass car.
Mhm.
But like, the story on that wasn't all about that, and that's kind of what I
Yeah.
hate about some music videos now. It's just like, it's all ass shaking, or it's all money, it's all jewelry, it's all guns. It's like, where is the storytelling? Where is the progression? Like, this is this is an opportunity to show a 3-minute story.
Mhm.
Like, this is not a movie. It has music that goes with it. Like, you
Yeah.
don't have to go out and find the music. Like, it's
Mhm.
there. You made it. And it's like, now you can tell your story. Like, if it's a party song, like, I have no problem with it depicting that, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like there should be an intro that makes sense, an outro that makes sense. Like, I
mean,
feel like
there's-
some of the
there's-
most artful music videos, like, Drake's done some amazing music videos.
Right.
Like, I just feel like there's a funny part, there's a serious part. Like,
Because he was in that field of acting, so he understands those dynamics.
Right,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And not only that, it's the budget and the creativity behind it. Like, a lot of artists are lazy. They don't want to write down their video treatment. Joyner Lucas says that he writes the music video before he writes the song. You know what I'm saying?
that's interesting.
And a lot of people don't really sit down and think about like how they want the music video to be. They just want to be a copy of a copy of a copy. They see, the cool. I think now it's more or less about the effects and the transitions than it is about,
Don't even get me started with
you know what I'm
that shit.
saying,
That
like
shit
the
gets me so-
glitchy,
Yeah.
dark ominous type, AUG type feel, and it's cool, but everybody's fucking doing
Everybody.
it, and you're putting yourself in the
It's
mix.
the same, and like you said, it's the same effects. Like,
Yeah.
and it's like, it's really corny to me.
It's
like
dope.
there's-
Like, it's dope. It's dope for the type of artists who do it. You know what I'm saying? But my thing
Right.
is,
if it works in the music video. If it doesn't, and you're just having effects on effects to kind of give this, like you said, this representation of something more is happening in the music video, right?
Yeah.
Like, because we have short attention spans, so you have to flash, flash, flash. It has to transition. And it's like, I just don't feel that.
yeah,
Like, I feel like it's just not telling a story. I'm over here, I'm over
empty.
there. Yeah. It's kind of like, and I don't know, because I feel like some of the artists, because like I said, I've had friends in making music videos in this industry where it's like, some artists don't give a fuck about how that video is edited.
yeah.
And I find that so horrendous. Like, it's like I'm gonna leave it to the guy who shot it to edit it. And I understand you don't have to learn how to edit, but you should be with him to be like, this is what I'm thinking, this is how I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
Like, you should really care about your transitions,
the problem
your
with,
which sections you're getting, and it's like, what
there's
do you
there's no open dialogue about that though. That should be an open dialogue.
And-
So because that's when you because a lot of people don't think about that part. Like, they don't think about, oh, maybe I should sit with this person. I feel like it's up to the director of who's shooting the video to be like, yo, look, do you want to come with me and help me, like, look what I'm doing. Like,
Right.
if I'm in a studio with an engineer, I'm not gonna record this song and then leave and be like, just do whatever you want to fucking do. I'm gonna sit right next to him and I'm going to learn or just watch what he's doing and be like, nah, don't do that, don't do that. But it has to be the communication between the artist and the,
Then this is where we come into like how people were kind of raised in the sense. What time you got?
I gotta be to work at 10.
Well,
we got time.
Oh, we got time. Good. I think it's like a lot of things that maybe weren't taught as like when we were growing up, as far as communication goes, because like I feel like a lot of people are scared to communicate. Like, hold on, that was the camera. Hold on,
I had a
sorry,
feeling.
technical difficulties.
Camera shut off. We still here though. Did it shut off? Ran out of space?
Stop recording.
Technical difficulties. We back at it again.
Back at it again. Jeez. That's why I need my producer here to wake up this morning. Fuck. But as I was trying to say, it's like the communication that we have now, as far as like trying to talk to one another. I feel like a lot of people are just scared to talk. like to get their idea out.
I blame the internet.
Really?
Yeah, I blame the fucking internet. Or our phones at least, because we are so detached from communicating with each other.
I feel like the phones have also. I agree with that in some sense of it, and the other thing is like a lot of people will say one thing to you in person, but then all of a sudden they get behind their phone and they just have a different personality.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden they're like, "Yo, I'm gonna be there, da da da," and then you hit them up like, "Yo, what's good?" And it's like they don't respond, or they respond like, "Yo, I was busy, da da da." It's like, well, we talked about this, and can you give me a call, or just let me know and I can be there. And it's like, yo, I can't, or I'm busy, or something like that to those effects. Or it's like, I don't like this, and it's like, well, why don't you come over? And it's like, nah, I just don't like it. Like when someone's editing something, and it's like, I feel like if this is your music, like you said with the engineer side, it's like, why wouldn't you be there to edit the video? I understand that it should be somewhat of the director or the person shooting the video to say, hey, come do this. But at the same time, it's like, if you're not going to say anything about it, I don't feel like it's also the responsibility of the person you're trying to pay to say something to you about it. It's like, I feel like a lot of these people are just like not caring. They're like, I paid you for the music video. I want you to shoot it, edit it, and I need it on this day.
How you gonna place
you
placing demands on somebody? Like, I get it though, but come on, you gotta tighten up with that type of shit, bro. You gotta be able to communicate how you feel. Like, and that's I think generally that's just the problem with men. Like, we all have a problem with communicating how we feel.
I think people are scared to disagree nowadays.
Ooh.
Like, it's so like, oh, I don't want to have a confrontation.
I don't want to step on toes.
Right, and it's like, I don't feel like not everything is like that. Like, I feel like sometimes, it could be like that. But in the most generally, like, I feel like a conversation or a disagreement can be buttoned up in 5 sentences.
Yeah, like, I mean, sometimes, but that's not everybody's able to communicate. Like, you can be that person and be like, yo, you see the person in public, right? And y'all had like he was supposed to meet with you for the podcast, but he never texts you back, and then you see him in public and you're like, yo, bro, what's good? And then he's just like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, man, there's no eye contact, there's no being genuine, there's none of that, bro. So it's hard for people to communicate how they feel, and that's based around how they were raised, I feel.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. It's so weird because I've never had a problem with communicating how I feel, or like if someone has a disagreement to talk it out, because I feel like that's just very simple stuff to do. Like, I like, we might be uncomfortable for 5-10 minutes, but like, I don't feel like that's gonna ruin my day. Like, we can just move past this and then continue working. Like, we get over this hiccup and we continue working. Like, these positions of people wanting to be successful, like, what do you think these people who've made $1 billion do? Do you think they're putting out small fires, or do you think like someone's coming for their neck? They're at the top. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it gets worse, bro.
It gets worse. Like, if you think not being able to talk to somebody you're trying to work with is bad, wait until that person is trying to take your company. Like, or trying to take your song, or trying to fuck with the same, you know what I mean? Like, trying to actually, like, if you can, like, just like get over the small things, like the bigger things won't seem as big. It's like, oh, this person has an ego problem. Like, it's very clear to see. Like, but I never get angry. Like when we were talking, like you're talking about the scheduling thing, or like, oh, you didn't call me back or something like that, or you didn't hit me back. I really don't bring that stuff up. I'm just like, oh, you're busy. Like, very simple.
Because you're an understanding person.
I think
a
it's
lot
like,
of people lack empathy. You know what
people
saying?
Lack empathy 100%. It's like, oh, you never hit me back. It's like, maybe he was busy, maybe he was going through some shit, maybe he just didn't respond, maybe he forgot. Like, my boy hit me up the other day, like, he asked me a question, I seen it, I went to go do something, didn't even think about it. He hits me up a week later, and I'm just like, oh and
shit,
I see the last message. It's like, yo, and it's just like, I'm just like, yo, my bad, bro. Like, my bad. I just feel like people are like real bougie about their time, and I do blame the internet, because it's like you get this idea of like, because I compare it somewhat to like the dating apps, like the Tinder and stuff like that. You're not supposed to respond fast. You're supposed to be cool about it and stuff. It's like, I'm trying to get this worked out. Like, are we going to meet up or not? You want to go out and see what each other are like or not? Like, I'm not trying to do this over 12 hours.
Right.
I'm not. Like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, now I got to fucking respond. Oh, she took an hour. Hour and 10 minutes I'll respond. Like what? Like how do you have the time and the patience and that bandwidth to even do that?
Because people are bored out of their fucking minds. That's the reason why people
There's so much to
That's
do.
the only reason why I would get on Tinder, bro. And I'm not putting genuine interest in what these fucking people are saying in their profiles. I'm just clicking on everybody. Just clicking, and whoever hits me up, I'm just like, what's up? And, you know, we'll have casual conversation for about 5 minutes, if even.
Right.
And then I'll just like delete the whole app for a whole year, and I'll go back to doing it again. Unless if I'm in a relationship, then I'm not on Tinder. But like, that's what I'm saying. Just people are bored out of their mind, and you're right. There is so much to do, but that's the problem. Is that there's so much to do and nobody knows where to put their energy.
I feel that, but put your energy in everything. Like, or as many things as you want.
Yeah.
And then you'll find out very quickly what things don't matter to you. When you're putting your energy into 5 things, you're like, I don't want to go do this today.
Yeah.
Obviously you don't want it, so don't do it. Drop it. Like, you know what I mean? And there are some things that are, you know, that are different, like working out. Like, yeah, maybe you should just keep working out. There are days definitely you don't feel like working out. I've definitely had a whole fucking year of it after an injury where I didn't feel like working out. So I understand, but like at the same time, it's like some things you got to push through. Some days you're not going to feel like you want to do something, but for the most part, you're going to be able to figure out in a very short amount of time. It's like, I don't want to do this. I want to do that.
It's not for me.
Right. And it's like, the thing that pisses me off when I hear is about, it's like, I can't wait to get out of Albany. It's like, for what?
I hear that a lot.
I understand getting out of your hometown and experiencing new things, but they think grass is greener on the other side.
It's just
the grass is greener where you water it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Talking shit, bro.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just...
Nah, I tell that to the children at my job, too. They're like, oh, man, Albany sucks. I'm like, bro, you don't even know anybody. Like, you haven't even left the hood to reach out to people who could help you to do the things that you want to do.
There are 6 or 7 towns within Albany, 10, 15-minute car ride, half an hour bus ride, and you're in a whole, like, not different part. Let me get this very straight. Albany is very small. It's a very small place. But there's Troy, there's Watervliet, you know, Rensselaer, East Greenbush, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like there are people all over the place. And there are different things to do. Like, I didn't understand that there was a lot of things around here until I stopped saying, or stopped having the mindset, I got to get out of here. There's nothing here. It's like, that's not true. Like, you can build.
You don't have enough interest. That's why.
You can build with other people. You can build your businesses, interests, and other things. There are plenty of things to do and be around here and invest in. Like, okay, the neighborhood's is not the greatest, right? You can always go and take the time, build your credit, and then purchase houses in your neighborhood, fix them up, and sell them.
But that's another. We're gonna get into that conversation. There's not a lot of education on that, and there's not a lot of people.
There's not. I feel like there's more now because of the internet, where you can watch people like DJ Envy really talk about real estate, generational wealth, how to do it. You might not have to have the best credit score. You can have first-time homeowners association like this.
How does the conversation come about? That's what I'm saying. If
it has to happen at a school level.
Ooh,
and
so I feel we get into education.
Yeah, educate. And I've had this conversation with so many people, especially having kids now. It's like the education system is so jacked. Yeah, it's like we train and teach our kids for jobs that don't even exist yet, and we train our kids to do jobs that are dying. Right. Like,
oh, you want
like, oh, you want to open a retail store? Good luck being broke, buddy. Like, you want to open up like, no offense to anyone who has any retail store around the capital region, but like, if you don't have an online presence, you're slowly dying. Yeah. It's simple as that. You're slowly dying. The market is not is foot traffic, especially where a place like this where it snows 5 months of the year. Right, it gets cold and you don't want to walk anywhere. So retail spaces are hard to come by, and it's like, why can't we teach our kids that the online is where it is? Why is it that they have to memorize everything? But in the real world, our phone is right here. Anything we want to know is right here. But this is the real world. But we're telling them you can't look that up. It's like, well, in the real world, like if you told me in a job, find out the XY intercept to something. I'm not good at math. I can't even tell you what the XY intercept was anymore. But I can definitely go on the computer, watch 10 YouTube videos on it, get on a website, plug in those numbers.
I feel like that coincides with like the person. Like it's all an individuality thing. Like people are lazy; they don't want to do the research. And I've ran into people who, like, I mean, sometimes I'll do the same shit, but it's like you you get people who post on Facebook, oh, where can I find a tennis shoe? I'm going to play tennis today. Yeah. Bro, you can Google search that shit.
Google search, Yelp search, like all this stuff everything is there.
You're too lazy because you want someone else to give you the answer.
Or sometimes it's a legitimate question, and there might be other people out there that know a little bit better. I understand that aspect of it, but I feel like you should do your research first before asking, so you can know when someone says, "Hey, Bob's Furniture has the best furniture." You can be like, "I've already done
that out, but it doesn't look like they have the stuff that I want."
Exactly. So it's like, all right, I can ignore that, or I don't have to, put my time into researching that. But like I said, I think it happens at a school level where it's like teaching kids that have resources.
Absolutely.
Like the iPad or your tablet is not only for watching YouTube videos. Like you can learn.
Did you know that you can make an app on this thing? Like you can create games,
or you can like make your own. Like I don't understand
why coding is very it should be very prominent in schools.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
But the problem is like we teach our kids coding now. By the time they get out of high school, like there's going to be AI that's coding itself.
Ooh.
So where is the connect to, we got to interject here along the education line to say, hey, we need to now update these skills.
Right.
Because nothing gets updated anymore. It's like, we reached 10th grade, and all of a sudden you hear about this new app or this newfangled thing, and it's like, I got 2 more years of high school left.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck am I going to learn that? Like, to be competitive in the work environment.
And
like,
then sometimes you don't take an actual interest in it because of that pressure. Like, you just start to be like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to find something else to do.
And colleges don't come with real-world experience. Yeah. Like, it's so...
I've never been to college, so I wouldn't know.
Okay, well, I wouldn't say colleges are all bad, but I feel like a lot of it is like some of it lacks the dimension of real-world experiences. There are a lot of good... And like I said, with the teacher thing from high school, there are so many good teachers in college that are willing to come and put their neck out and talk to you and spend extra time with you in their office hours to kind of guide you in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of teachers that are just there to get paid. They got a degree, they got a diploma. I'm here from 9 a.m. to 5. I have a mandatory 1-hour office hours, and I'm going the fuck home.
Leave me alone.
Exactly. So it's like I don't necessarily think those people should be teachers. I don't want to be like a blanket statement. But it's like I really want those people who are willing to put the effort to come behind you and be like, yo, let's rap that out loud. Like to come to me and be like, hey, you got a good business sense, you got a good public speaking.
I have these resources. Let me connect you. Type shit.
Exactly. It's like these are the people that like. These are the scouts for everyday people. Like, these aren't NBA or NFL scouts to prospect the best talent. These are the everyday people to be like, that kid has a little bit of talent in him. Let's see if we can't push him in the right direction.
Yeah, mentorship.
Exactly.
Mentorship is important.
And that's where it's kind of died down. Like, you don't see apprenticeships or mentorships anymore. Everyone's kind of just like, I want a job. I want a piece of the company. Yeah. I need X and Y amount of money. And it's like...
Then you have the gatekeepers, too. Like, the ones who just who keep and withhold information.
Are there gatekeepers nowadays?
Yeah. Like, this is a lot of people who withhold information from people. Like, they don't want to give it to because they don't feel like they're up to their level to give it to
gatekeepers in the sense of what? Because I feel like gatekeepers are really diminished in the presence of the internet. Like,
in the sense of, like, I have this information. I can get you to where you need to go. I can give you all of the things, all of the tools that you need to get to where you need to be. But you aren't on my level, so I'm not going to do that. So, like, I feel like, why hasn't there been, producers reaching out to communities and teaching kids how to produce a song? Why? I have no experience with producing.
And this comes into where you're doing with the kids at what library?
Albany Public Library at the Howell Branch downtown, 105 Scholar Ave. You can on Scholar Street. You can see me every Monday from 3:30 to 5. I run a program called Mic Drop. I'm trying to expand that program.
I hope you do.
And
I'll help
go
you with
to
whatever
different
I
places.
can.
Oh, please.
I'll help wherever I can with that.
Appreciate that.
What are the age limits for that?
There's no age limit. You could be fucking 50. You want to make a song? Come on, let's do it. Let's get you started.
And you don't teach them.
Yeah, I don't teach. Like, all right, so I teach the ones who want to rap. Like I won't even say teach. I'll guide your pen. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you maybe you should take that word out, or maybe you should use this, or say it like this. You know what I mean? Just ghostwriting, I guess. You know, just being that shadow and give them that positive reinforcements behind it when they're recording their songs and the things that they need to hear and the things that they should hear. And also putting them on to game about the industry and like talking about, you know, make sure you have your publishing. Make sure you find how you, because you don't have to worry like distribution. You can go to like things like DistroKid and TuneCore, and those things can help you push your music out. Ownership is important. How about 100%. You start owning, like, you know, getting your publishing, get your ASCAP, BMI. These things are important to being an artist. But what I've run across a lot is a lot of these kids don't give a fuck about it. It's not even the kids, it's even adults. They don't give a fuck about that. I just want to do the music. That's fine. Here's a stage, here's a platform, here's an environment where you can do that in peace of mind, and you can express yourself freely and thoroughly the way you want to, and that's what I want. Because that's what that community needs. A lot of the kids don't have ways to express themselves, so they go out and they fight. Hey, bro, it's a fight every fucking day. They come to the place where they know that they can build themselves, that they can work on themselves and do different things to expand themselves, but they just choose to worry about the things outside. But that I wouldn't entirely put the blame on them. It's just the environment that they're in and what feeds their, you know, whatever the fuck they have in their brains or whatever they want to do. But the ones who do come are the ones who take it serious. Right. The ones who I pull to the side, and there's a few. Like, I give them packets of things. Like, look, read this packet. Make sure you study it, because these are the things that you're gonna need to know as an artist to get you where you need to be.
What you do is great, and I feel like that. What made you think about doing that for the kids in the community, bro, or just the community in general?
I swear to God, bro. This is when I was like living with my aunt, and I was just laying on the couch. And I was taking a nap, and I woke up. I was like, I want to do a music program for the youth, you know. And it was just like a random thought, and I remember going up to one of my friends, Paul Kane, and I was talking to him about it. And then I went to Albany Barn, and at the time my friend Kenneth was there, and he was gonna help me with the two. But then I just got very discouraged at a point, and I was just like, fuck it, it's probably not gonna happen. I don't have the resources to do it. And, you know, it's just so much that comes with it. And I was still sleeping on my aunt's couch. I wasn't doing anything. And then I ended up filling out an application to work at Albany Public Library. In my mind, I'm thinking I'm going to be at the Washington Ave branch. Right. Just walking around doing security or whatever the case may be. But then, you know, in my cover letter, I expressed that that's something that I have an interest in doing. You know what I'm saying? And they put me at the Howe branch, and the program was already there. I didn't know that. And they were like, oh, we have a surprise for you. And I go there, bro, they have the studio equipment, everything that you need, the speakers, the Mac Mini, the headphones, the keyboard, the programs.
That's great.
They just didn't have anybody to run it.
Wow.
So it was like divine intervention, and the universe was just working for me. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I would say definitely. Yeah. That's how it is. The universe, and I'm glad to see Albany Public Library has innovated in a sense to do something like that, because I've been saying this for so long that libraries are antiquated. I don't understand public resource. It's out of date. It doesn't work.
I like that word.
Like, books are great, and I think people should read books, but for the most part, like, the library should be innovated in the sense that no one's going there besides elderly people to read books. In the sense of, like, millions of dollars every year are spent to go to libraries from taxpayer money. And it's not really a community resource. Like, there are some computers there that you can type a Word document on, but can you edit a video there? Can you do a podcast there? Yeah. Can you... I'm saying for most libraries, like that's most. Like Albany's built this thing, which is great, but most libraries you go to don't have any of these things.
That's true.
Like the East Greenbush Library, like, we're talking about a library in a nice neighborhood that gets lots of money. You're running Windows 09. Like, why aren't you have the updated Windows, the updated Macs?
I think I don't mean to cut you off. Yeah. I think it's about the community. The community doesn't have an interest outside of the things that their comfort zone.
I don't think it's in their ability to understand that because the libraries are public resources, we can go to a public office, a politician, a mayor or something, and be like, listen, we can teach kids and the community to be more and do more with more resources. Like, it should be a video editing lab. There should be microphones in there to do whether you want music or podcasting, another new medium, right? We should have people come in like yourself, producers in the area, if they would like to give their time to give back, to teach, this is what we can do. Even in schools today, like if you walk around, like my son goes to Rensselaer High School or Rensselaer Elementary, which is linked to the high school, and you go into their multimedia room, it's just a bunch of old school Windows machines. It's like, what can you do on here but try and play like Counter-Strike? You know what I mean? If that. Like, like why aren't, like, there are professional gaming leagues now. Why don't we update these machines so kids can, like, and I understand, like, taking away from sports work, I understand the whole thing, but it's new. There's kids that make money in it. Like, why not have this ability to do if they're already doing it themselves?
Exactly.
So that you can put more community resource into it. Why don't we have open gyms, public gyms that the town can go to? Like the YMCA in North Albany closed, and I think that's the biggest travesty to that area.
I'm avid on the rebirth of rec centers.
Yeah.
I've been talking about this for the longest. And the libraries, like in Albany at least, are the new rec centers. It's just like we have kids who come there and dance. We have people who come there to do yoga.
Right.
You can, if you have time and if you have a program that you want to use or you want to do, come to Albany Public Library, sit down with one of our directors, and we can talk to you and we can get you a slot to do that. And not only that, we will pay you to do that. We have a budget to do stuff like that.
Right, and that's the best thing is, like, I wish that we could open more stuff. Like you said, kids are fighting. Like, why not put the kids who are fighting in the weight room, and then like you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, you look like you know how to fight. Like, bring some of the coaches in from Albany Boxing Gym and stuff like that to try and say, like, hey, these are the times practices are, open workouts and the rest of it. Like, if you have an inclination to fight, like, stop beating up kids and try and get paid for this motherfucker.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? You're getting brain damage for what?
Exactly.
Like, let's put you in a gym. Let's make sure you are protected, and we put you. And like I said, not everywhere you begin is not everywhere where you end. Like, if you introduce kids to fitness earlier, they might be like, I like this. Like, you know what I mean? I can make a career out of this. I can make a social media following off of this. I can, do these things that aren't getting in trouble.
Right.
Like, I look on YouTube, and, like, no offense to, like, the things I haven't seen, right? Because it's such a big platform. But it's like, I just see, like, the kids that thrive are just, like, basically like white kids, like, in front of the camera. It's like, yo, these inner city kids have a lot of stories
and they
to
have
tell.
So much to say, bro.
And do and create. It's like, why aren't the public libraries, not like Albany seems to be very innovative on this, so I'm very happy to hear that. But, like, there should be cameras that people can rent or use in the library to make videos. Like, video production and editing is a huge market, and it's going to be ever flowing further because of the internet, social media platforms, and the rest of it.
Right.
Like, these are things that are just going to be here, and why not teach?
Right.
Like, instead of going in and seeing old computers, books. Not saying anything bad about books, but they take up a lot of space, and I'm just saying the overhead cost. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? But like, it should be a learning environment where people can come in, like, and have a schedule, and you look and it's like, oh, on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, Ohzhe's here teaching this. On Thursdays and Fridays, Kanan's here teaching podcasts. On Mondays and Tuesdays, they're teaching video editing. On this day and this day, they're doing this. Like, I've had, like, I think we want to give more back to the community, and it's kind of depressing to see, like, a lot of other people just don't. They're just like, I don't care, I live here.
Yeah.
And it's like, you shit in your own backyard. Like, come on, like, this is where you live.
Yeah.
It should be uplifting. You shouldn't be like, oh, I live in Albany, like, I want to get to the city. It's like, what? I understand getting new experiences, and I'm not talking anything bad about moving out of your city. Not doing that. But I'm saying you can also do benefits for your city that will benefit you and other people, which will bring everybody up.
Exactly.
I think people
ultimately,
like you said in the beginning, people lack empathy, and I think a lot of people lack vision.
Ooh.
I think people see it, and it's like my mom says, it's like, don't make a molehill into a mountain. Don't stand so close to the problem where the problem seems impassable.
Right.
Let's back up 100 feet and look at it from there and be like, oh, well, I just go right, Yeah. I don't have to hit that problem at all. And problems aren't always bad things. Like, to solve a problem is a good thing. Like, I don't think people are like, oh, this popped up, or someone said this, and it's like, all right, well, let's figure out what to say. Let's figure out how to deal with it. Like, let's not just ignore it. Like, I feel like a lot of people just ignore problems now, and then they just create into something so much bigger. I feel like, as well as, like you said, kids aren't really allowed to express themselves now. And we were talking in the car on the way over here about bullying and, like, the fear of parents. Like, how do we prevent this? And like I understand the schools try to do it, but I think if you try to sequester kids or like if you try to push bullying down, it's still gonna be there. It's like don't
secretly.
bully, and it's like, well, it's gonna pop up somewhere else. So I think to identify the people that are bullying and then sit them down and try and get them into therapy is a good thing. Like I think the freedom of speech, and like I don't mean to go all super American right now, but America, but I think the First Amendment is a great thing where it's like you can say what you want and people are like, you can't say this, you can't say this, or you can't be a racist or this. It's like these groups of people are very small, and why not have them self-identify themselves? Like it's hard to spot a racist now because they're gonna say nigger at home in front of their whole white family and no one's gonna snitch on them. Let them say it in public and be like,
there you go.
I got you. There he is. There he is. And he hangs out over there. They're the rest of them.
You're exiled. Go over there. Get the fuck away.
I don't even necessarily think exile, but it's just like it's easy to identify them when you let them talk.
Right.
Like, the bullies are easy to spot when you can let them be kids and be like, oh, he's bullying someone. Come here. Like,
that's
what
why
are you doing?
Trump is such an interesting prospect in that type of sense.
I think it's very interesting in the sense of where the media falls. Are you able to have a conversation about something like this where it's politics, where it's a very polarizing figure, and say, hey, do you see the pros and cons of each side? Like, let's not look at it as like he's said racist things. Is he a racist? I don't think you get to like lowering unemployment for everyone and then somehow trying to keep blacks, isolated in the sense of like lowest black unemployment. He has to make jobs better for everyone, right? You know what I mean? Like we have to do all these things together. It just pisses me off. It's like what the media does is anything he does is blown up to be out of proportion for the last forever, right? Since he's been elected.
Right.
I just don't like everything is so radical. Like what happened to the people in the middle? Like I feel like the people in the middle are the most unreasonable now, right? It's like I sit in the middle to say I fall more conservative when it comes to business, but I have more social liberal feelings when it comes to social problems. Like I'm indifferent on abortion. Like I believe women should make the choices they want, right? I am not for more taxes because I don't think the government knows what they're doing. Like, I don't believe that putting more people in office to pay them a $80, $90, $100,000 a year salary to operate this program is going to work. I just don't. I feel like business should have more leniency, and I think the social problems, just need more discussion on the sides of how do we do this effectively. Like I said it. A lot of people don't like me for it, but whatever. When the presidencies are always legacy driven. Like everyone's thinking about their legacy. My problem with Obama was Obamacare in the sense that it was never tested. He just rolled it out everywhere. It's like everyone now has free healthcare, and it's like, whoa, what are you doing? Like in the sense of you're now putting it on the state's emphasis. So I worked for a company called Maximus. Maximus was for the New York State of Health. New York State of Health contracted Maximus to answer the phones for the New York State of Health and answer questions about health insurance. What they don't tell you is who they're hiring. They're hiring people like me who have no idea about health insurance and giving me a 4-week training on trying to explain Medicaid, Medicare, what health insurance plans are new, essential plans, and the difference between all of them, and what falls between kids, illegal immigrants, and the rest of it. It's like I can understand that because I can learn and teach. I'm a very malleable person. But you take someone they were just hiring anybody, like a McDonald's worker, and you're just like, tell them about health insurance. And the way they answered the phone is, thank you for calling the New York State of Health Contact Center. They don't tell you it's not the New York State of Health. They're not state employees. They're lying to you. It's a fucking person that works at McDonald's. Nothing wrong with that. But they don't know health insurance. Like, health insurance is a very fickle thing. It takes a very knowledgeable person to tell you what you qualify for and what you don't. My problem is like, he was like, health insurance is free, and the states are like, all right, we're just going to sublet and sublease, and you know what I mean, trying to take these parts that would be more expensive to hire state workers to do because they now need a job, a health insurance plan, a retirement plan. They're in the union now.
Right.
Like, there are all these expenses that come along with it,
right.
And the states would go under. So they now contract out the third parties. The problem with that is now these third parties can just hire anyone they want. There's no like checks and balances. So when I was working there, I heard a lot of people got health insurance. Definitely. I helped a lot of people get health insurance, but I dealt with more emotional people that didn't know what they were talking about. And I basically had to lie to them on the phone.
That's fucked up.
To say that I know what I'm talking about. And really, I don't. All I have is the information in front of me, and I can do the best of my ability. Right? And then I hang up the phone with them knowing they're going to call back in 2 days. When I told them to call back, they're going to get another person, and that person might not be as knowledgeable as me. And he did that for the entire country. There's no reason to do that. You had 4 years. You can slowly roll it out. Like, you can take the countries or the counties in the country, in the state that are doing the worst, roll it out in those things first, and then let's make corrections. What's going good, what's going bad. Roll it out to the next place, and the next place, and the next place, right? The thing with Trump is the wall, right? His legacy is that wall. I agree with border security. I'm not saying that I don't like immigration, but I just don't think anyone should be able to cross a border anywhere and just walk into the country and get a job and get a social security number and start drawing benefits from the country. I just, as a taxpayer, I don't feel that's right. I would love people to come into this country. This country was made on immigration through the right ports of entry, just for safety reasons. But I don't think a wall does it. I think it's such an old school method. It's like, are we really?
Didn't Berlin have a wall?
Exactly. It's like, I just think it's a symbolic thing, right? It's like, we have a nice wall.
America.
Very great. It's like, wouldn't it be better spent on more people, more jobs, right? To man these posts, have more technology in the sense of drones and maybe better education for the immigrants coming in. Like, hey, we're going to send you back, but this is how you do it legally, you know?
Right.
Come over here, apply here. And I understand people take risks to get out of the countries that are doing worse. Like, if your country's controlled by gangs and that's the only lifestyle it is, and you want to get out with your kids, I'm not knocking that. I'm not saying don't do that. You have to do what's right for your family. See, that's where I fall on the border in the social line, right? It's like, they're trying to do a better life. They're not trying to get killed, and they're not trying to be gang members, which we persecute them on. Like, you joined a gang. How dare you? It's like, well, I'm sorry. Honduras only has one gang, MS-13, and it controls the fucking entire country. What did you expect was going to happen?
The fuck do you want me to do?
Exactly. So they're trying to get here. I don't necessarily knock that, but there has to be a better way to fix our current immigration system. The wall is not the way.
We have to be better with being better with, like, just being patient with those type of things, because
being more patient, and all in addition to being able to have a conversation. Like, as soon as you bring Trump's name into it, it's either you're for or against. It's like, well, he's in power right now, so what can we do with him in place? Like, if he loses the next election, okay, that's great, but now the next person's in, how do we fix it with that? Like, I don't want to go and see Joe Biden now tear down a wall that was used by taxpayer money to build. We just wasted money.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see Trump come in and then tear away Obamacare after all the money that was spent on it. Right. Like, let's make these things work.
So how do we make it work within the system?
Exactly. Like, and no one's willing to have these conversations. It's just baffling to me. Yeah, it's such a.
I wonder why though. I wonder why people are afraid to have those conversations, but then yet scream revolution. But they don't want a revolution, which means that they're just comfortable with what's going on, which is confusing. So it's like, what are you trying to do?
Right.
Like, what are we doing? If we're like, and you know, I'm not heavy into politics, so I can't really give you, I haven't done my due diligence on everything like you'd have. But to be realistic, it's like, what do you do when someone's in power and you don't agree with the things that they're doing? So how do we come to, like, I think that's where voting comes into play. Voting, you have to do your local elections. And
I think
do
the
what
local
you can
elections,
within your community.
Local elections matter a lot more than on the federal level.
Yeah,
and this
100%.
and this, I said it to my friend Tony, who the episode drops today. Go check that out. We were talking about, if you didn't tell me who the president was for the last 12 years, you probably wouldn't know the difference. Like 8 years of Obama, 4 years of Trump, you wouldn't know. Like, if no one told you who was in power, there was no news cycle on the president, and you lived your everyday life from 12 years or 10 years ago to now, could you tell me the difference?
No, I mean,
of like on that, in that sense of like, has anything changed so greatly that we do something differently in a daily basis that makes our lives better or worse?
I haven't noticed. I haven't noticed.
That's what I'm saying. The things we do more on a daily level is more state and local based.
Right.
Those elections matter a lot more. The problem is like, it's this huge news cycle, this whole media thing. Like, is it biased? Yes. how do we get more unbiased? How do we get proper journalism? How do we get like someone with not an agenda, right? This is the problem. It's like, can we do something better for our country? That's why I like more of these people coming in. Kind of like, I don't like career politicians. I don't like Clinton. I don't like Biden. I don't like these people who have made somehow millions of dollars holding a public office.
Right.
Like, I don't think these public offices should pay that much, right? And I don't think they should pay for life either. When you leave, like, you get a nice retirement plan depending how long you did, but you don't get paid the same salary for life.
Right.
I just don't think, I think these things are ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And the person who stays in these career politicians, there's a reason they lost. Everyone was sick of it. Mm-hmm. That's why Trump won. No one like, there's a lot of people who didn't like Hillary Clinton, whether it's the conspiracy side or they just like, she didn't have a good platform to run on.
Right.
The problem we have now is like, we have Joe Biden, career politician, don't like him much. I don't think he's going to do that well. We have Elizabeth Warren, who I don't like that much. I don't think anyone who's that white can claim they're Native American in any sense. Like, you're white. Just take the L.
Just be white.
Yeah, like, there's nothing wrong with it. You don't have to be a Native American.
You don't have to be embarrassed.
Like, and if you are a Native American, do more for your people.
Right.
You know, that's just simple. The one I like is Andrew Yang. He's the guy who talks about the freedom dividend. I
have to do diligence.
Basic.
I have to do my research.
Anyways, I think he's pretty good, but it's like, who's going to beat the big guy, right? Who's going to beat the WWE? He can make a meme out of everything. Like, you know what I mean? He's very quick on his feet, and people are like, oh, he's racist, he's this, he's that. He's like, he's from Queens, New York. Like, this is, have you ever talked to someone from Queens? Like, he's like, they're all Donald Trump. They're all dicks. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? They're quick on their feet, great with insults. Like, you know what I mean?
The Queens people watching this, they're going to be heated. I ain't going to lie to you. Yeah.
I mean, he's from Queens. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, they're all fucking dicks. Like, they're Mets fans and shit. You know, they know they're fucking hopeless.
Chill. Yeah.
But it's just, it's so crazy to me because it's like, I feel like we can, like, people like us, right? We have a normal conversation. Like, where can we normalize this? Like, to have a conversation where, like, I like this, I don't like this. I like this, I don't like this. I like this, I don't like this.
People have to learn to combine. I don't want to say combine, but like, fuck it. Combine your emotions, your intellect, and your wisdom, and put it in a pot and mix it together. Because that's where you get a full understanding of where you're coming from when you're having a conversation with someone. You don't get it by just spewing facts at people. You get it, but it's just like, all right, I get that but why though? How does that benefit the rest of us? Because you could talk facts with you all you want, but that doesn't mean your facts stand with my morals.
Well, then the facts are facts, but at the same time, how do the facts help us move forward?
Exactly.
Like, okay, you gave me that fact. Great.
I have facts too. How can we build our facts together?
Not even that. It's like, all right, these facts are facts, right? They can't change facts. But how do we build to fix the problems we both don't like?
Right.
And I feel like that's where the conversation needs to be held. That's why I like podcasts. That's why I want more people to do podcasts to get their ideas out there a little bit more. And that's basically it. I know you got a jet soon. It's nice.
Let's touch on the topic of mental health, man. Before we
before that, I saw that you have been going to therapy sessions.
Yeah, I just started my mental.
Why'd you go to therapy? What encouraged you to do this?
I had a mental breakdown at work, relationship problems. I won't go into full detail, but it changed a lot. Like, I went and got a fucking tattoo. It really that type of it. The shit broke me down. Let's just say that. And
love is hard.
It is, and I still love this woman, but it's hard because I'm confusing myself on certain things, and I need to evaluate my emotions, and I've never been taught how to evaluate my emotions, especially as a man. So I'm confusing myself while, like, also confusing her, and I don't want to damage her more than she's already damaged, because then we're just going to keep going back and forth with our demons, and that's not fair to either of us. So I'm trying to, take my time with myself and really evaluate my emotions and how I feel about certain things, because I was never taught that. And I figured therapy was the only way. I've been talking about going to therapy for the longest. I've been looking for a therapist for the longest, but it was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna find this random old white guy who has been doing this for 15 years and see where it goes. So I just threw a dart at the fucking wall, and it felt good. Like, I didn't get to unpack much, but I got a chance to express myself in a space where I didn't feel judged, or I didn't feel like, well, damn, I don't know if I should say this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, it helped, and I'm really that's all I keep thinking about. I can't wait to go back.
Right.
And talk more about it. And I was just having a conversation with one of my friends the other day about how there are not a lot of men who uplift and advocate mental health, and like in the spectrum just for being a man, because we're so
I can tell you, for the longest time my thing was like, stop being a pussy.
Exactly. I've been hearing, like, I hear that shit too.
I'm not me telling other people, me telling myself.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's what I mean.
I'll be upset or
being
like
a bitch ass
bro,
nigga.
so many times, like I think a lot of people, kids especially, they see this glorification of getting hoes, not understanding what it can do to women and yourself. You can confuse yourself so easily by doing this, and now you're playing a game of I hurt you, you hurt me.
Yeah, there's no need for going tit for tat.
No reason, like, and you got to understand like what a relationship or love is, or an open relation, whatever makes you feel good. It's fine, but love can be, I went through this too, very confusing. Yeah. Like, after it might be over, or you're trying to fix yourself or what have you, and it's like, it feels suffocating. Like, It's like, I can't breathe, I can't talk, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't, and then the man side's like, stop being a pussy.
Stop being
like,
a bitch. Go get some pussy.
Exactly. It's like I don't think
taking my anger out on you right now.
It's like, I don't. How does it solve the mental?
It
you know
doesn't.
what I mean?
You gotta take that time, bro. And that's what I'm telling myself. I'm like, I just have to take my time and be patient with myself and put my energy into the things that matter, and focus on the things that help bring me up. And then when the time arises, if I'm ready to have a conversation with the woman that I was dealing with, and express my emotions thoroughly, then I'll be able to do that. But like, the only way I feel like I'm able to do that is through therapy. Like, I need to be able to put my thoughts out and get them thrown back at me in a way where it doesn't have an emotional attachment to it.
Yeah,
like,
and it's hard because I talk to my mom a lot, and if people are lucky out there to have parents in their life that they can talk to.
Shout out to my mom, I love you.
That's great, but sometimes, especially when talking to parents, I don't think the parents are the right people to talk to.
Yeah, because they're not biased. They're
completely biased towards you, and they can tell you exactly what you want to hear, but it's not what you want to. It's not what you need to hear.
My brother's like, fuck her, bro. She evil, bro. She gonna kill you, bro. And I'm just like, that's not what I want to hear. Like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to be discouraged with loving her. I don't want to be discouraged.
Everyone has their own demons and their own faults that they have to deal with.
Right.
But they have to deal with it because it's their lives. Like, they might have birthed you, like my father, made me. I don't like my father because of what he's done. He was an alcoholic for many years. Still is. If you gave him a drink to this day, he'll drink it. But I've forgiven and let go because this is that person's life, and I'm only going to get older and closer to dying, and for me to hold these emotions of anger and disappointment and regret are not helping me.
Right.
He doesn't give a fuck.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, so why do I have to sit here and be emotional towards someone I don't like, I don't want to be like, and that doesn't care about what has happened in the past? Like, I have to let it go.
Exactly.
And it's hard if you, like we said, never taught these things. How do you get taught? How do you get taught these things? Because, like I said, for the longest time, and I think a lot of it still to this day, is that stop being a bitch, hold it down, push it down. Like, this one guy I listened to this podcast called Jocko. Navy.
I fuck with Jocko.
Jocko Willink. Yeah. Yep. Stifle your emotions. Like, you know what I mean? And
Mad
it's like
militant.
sometimes that's good, right? You know what I mean? To have that militant mindset, but sometimes you need to talk to someone, and I don't think parents or siblings are the right people because they love you so much and they want to just tell you what is going to make you feel better, and that's great. But I think finding that old white guy who's doing it for mad long is good.
I'm looking for a black therapist. I'm on search for a black therapist, but
I think that's a good thing too. How'd you go about finding a therapist?
Psychology Today. I couldn't find anyone that matched my insurance.
Okay.
So I was just like, well, all these other people look weird, and he looked like he was like the coolest one. Like he got like a Jack Nicholson vibe. So I'm like, all right, cool. I fuck with Jack Nicholson. So.
Did your insurance cover it, or did you have to pay out of pocket?
My insurance, that was a conversation that I had with him, but I also had a conversation with my coworker. My insurance should pay for it. But he also was like, well, you might have to pay out of pocket. So I already have the 65 ready for him.
Okay.
So when I go and see him again, I'll pay.
Do you think libraries should have like we were talking about community resources? Should we have more community like therapists?
Yeah, but that's very interesting. I never thought about that. I never thought is that the camera?
Yeah.
Oh,
damn. Just these technical difficulties. We can still go on because we put this out on Spotify and iTunes as well, so
cool.
We have multiple platforms.
That's an interesting that's very interesting. I never thought about like they have women's groups at my job. Mm-hmm. I feel like there need to be more men's group.
Yeah.
Like that needs to be a prominent.
I feel like you go into a men's group, you feel like you're walking into an AA meeting or something.
I mean, what's funny is that I just attended like a few weeks ago my first men's group, and it was in a barbershop. My boy Mike, shout out to Mike, shout out to you, big bro. We both have the words tighten up on our necks.
Oh, nice.
And the fact that he did that helped with a lot of processing certain emotions that I didn't understand, because I know that I'm not the only man going through it. You know what I mean? And other men that were there, they were expressing how they felt, and it felt good. Like it was like, all right, cool. And we're all giving each other advice. We're all talking to each other. We're building, and it needs to be more of that, because I've noticed like I said, there's not a lot of men uplifting other men to being a better man. Right. I see a lot of men tearing down men for the clout, for pussy, for the quick, IG post or whatever the case may be. There's not a lot of men telling other men, yo, bro, look, focus on your mental health, focus on your finances, focus on your foundation, focus on being a better man, because women are always going to surround you no matter what. And the right woman who sees you building on yourself is also going to be building on herself. And then you guys combine your foundations together to build a better future for your children.
Yep.
So the problem is that we're not focused as men because of how sexualized everything is now. Right, everything's about fucking. Everything is about Tinder, Facebook, Instagram. Everything's about sex now. And it's forced down our throats. And we don't have time to process how we feel about certain things. So we just rush into relationships, or we rush into situationships with people, or, we don't really give ourselves time to heal the wounds that we had growing up as children.
I 100% agree with that. And it's a two-way thing, right? Because it's like we have to fix ourselves, but then our partners have to fix themselves. We all deal with things, and it's hard to look internally. Yeah, I feel like, because it's hard to be like, I did something wrong. Yeah, especially holding yourself accountable. Holding yourself accountable is huge.
I ain't, bro. Trust me, I know I ain't shit. But I'm trying to be a better.
I don't think that's a way to put it, because it's like you do so much, in a sense, right? Right. I don't think saying I'm not shit. Like, I understand the mentality behind it. But if you're out here trying to build your mental health, if you're out here trying to provide to the community, at the same time trying to think about your career and get to this point of where you might consider yourself successful, at the same time as fixing yourself, I mean, fuck, man, I think you got some shit figured out. And you're trying to raise a son, too.
That's true.
Like, I think you got some shit figured out.
Right.
And you're building on all of them.
Right.
So...
Thank you.
Not shit is like it's down here. All right. Shit's down here.
I'll give myself.
I got credit. A couple friends that aren't shit. Shout out to you guys.
Oh, you ain't shit, motherfucker. I see you, bro.
I need some of you in my life, because man, I lived through you. Like, damn, that's the decision you made. Man, I wish I could have played that out in my life, but I ain't taking that chance. Absolutely not. Hell no. You need those people in your life. Like, damn, you did that?
Wow, bro. Damn. You really ain't shit.
You out here, man.
You really doing that.
Man, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But Yeah, man. I thank you so much for coming on.
I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you for talking about all this because I think it gives us a little bit of perspective. I'm 24, so I'm a little bit younger than you, only slightly. But my kid,
you're very wise though, bro.
I try to be. I had a kid at 17. I had to fucking grow up quick. I've been working since the age of 11.
Same.
I've been trying to just I've been trying to be successful in some sort of the word, and I've always put a money sign behind that. But I think it's the education behind it. I mean, money would be nice. I mean, fuck.
Yeah. In due time, though.
Yeah,
it's gonna get there.
Patience. Like, I think what you've been doing, 13 years in the music, right? Album coming out soon. I find like all your performances are just like in my mind, they're practice. Like, you get on stage, and I'm just like, this kid has got it. Like when he pops. He's already got the stage time. Like there's no confusion about it.
There's
like he knows what he's doing.
I would say I am the best outside of Nick, neighborhood Nick. I am the best performer out here, bro. There's no question. There's no question at all. I am the best hip hop artist performer out here.
Gotta ask you a tough question before you leave though.
What's up?
Top 5 local.
Top 5 local?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, that is tough. Damn.
If he leaves you out, he doesn't like you. No, I'm just fucking with you.
Nah, I don't. Nah, I don't fuck with you at all. Nah. All right. But top 5 local. Damn, this is tough. All right. So I don't really listen to a lot of local music. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and bullshit.
Okay, but you've seen him in performances.
I've seen that's the problem, bro. That's what I'm saying. A lot of motherfuckers out here can't perform.
Okay.
And it's no discredit, but
just
I'm not
fair.
I'm not a person who likes people who perform with their fucking vocals. I think that's corny. You can do better. Do fucking better.
Okay.
At the end of the day, you don't need your vocals. You're being lazy. I said it. Quote me. You're being fucking lazy. Do better. So, top 5. All right, I'm gonna give it to. I love Ali. I love Ali's lyricism. He's a really great lyricist. He's got the style. His visual game is on point. I fuck with him heavy. Sully Had is a vibe. You know, he's a vibe. He's got his own thing going. Shout out to him. Suave is dope. Suave the Don is ill. I'm trying to think of some lyricists. Who are some lyricists out here that I like fuck with heavy? And this is not to discredit like the people who I've like grown up with listening to, but like,
right.
You know, shout out to like all like the, you know, JB and, you know, Pig Food Records, all of those guys who pretty much helped mold me into like the MC that I am now. But like the MC, like I'm trying to think, bro. Fuck, this is a really tough question. I fuck with Dayshell. You know, she's cool. She's got a vibe. She knows how to perform. She knows how to rap. She's consistent with her shit. I'm on one more, right?
Yeah, one more.
One more. Who's got that spot? Who's taking it? Who is fucking
New
taking
girl
it?
taking that one?
Who?
V3?
Who?
Vex? Vex?
Oh, Vex. Vex.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Vex is on there. Yep.
Yeah.
Shout out to Vex. Vex is taking that. Yep. That's 5. All of these people. There's Ali. There's Suave. There's Soli. There's Dayshell. And there's Vex.
Yeah.
These are the people who I fuck with on a level where it's like, all right, I can see that you're going to go. Well, Soli he's already there. Suave is already there. But these are the people who I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that list all over again. I'm not gonna lie, but that's just how I feel in my mind.
One take only.
In my mind, that's where I'm at right now in this space. It may change in a week.
When is the album drop?
I'm looking to drop next year in October.
Next year.
Next year in October.
Oh, okay. I thought you were trying to drop this October.
But that's where the catch comes in. I might drop it this year in October.
Well, just make sure it's ready.
That's why I'm making sure. I'm trying to make sure all the components are
there.
there.
That Big Booty Judy.
Big Booty Judy's fire, bro. You ain't hear Tighten Up?
I did not. I don't think I heard.
I'll let you hear that on the car ride.
Okay. What does Tighten Up mean?
Tighten up is you know how you were like saying to yourself, well, damn, don't be a pussy.
Yeah.
Don't be a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying that to yourself,
tighten up.
It's like man up, but
yeah.
that I feel like that has even man up has a toxic connotation to it.
Titan.
So tighten up, like
from the Greek mythology.
Exactly.
5 titans.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because you're a god. We're all gods in our own sense, so we have to move like that whenever we feel.
I like that. I like gods better than kings. When I hear king, I was like, you do understand? There's never been a king ever that hasn't oppressed somebody.
Ooh.
Think about that for a second.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, Ohzhe.
Peace, love, and happiness, and chicken grease. And make sure you go and listen to my EP Growth. Make sure you listen to, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be dropping videos. Stay in tune. You can follow me on, IG, Ohzhe. I am that motherfucking guy. I am the shit. I'm on my way to work. It's raining. Yeah. I love y'all. Peace.